So a while back, I made a video covering the website, the Secret Story Archive. If you don't know what it is, I'll give a brief synopsis. It's a deep web website. It shares erotic stories of cats, and I decided to get into contact with the admin of the website, try to have a nice little interview. So here's that interview. So without further ado, let's just get right into this, speaking to this good old lad. I'll start this off with an opinion of yours. Your favorite cat?
My favorite cat is the cougar, Felis concolor. I would love a big cuddly friend like that. Sadly, that's impossible in my current living situation, bigger city, and it would be most unfair towards the cat. People in other countries have better chances, for example, Messi the puma. If you meant normal house cats, I like the simple short-haired breeds best. Nothing fancy. Something that always causes me to whimper inside are Persians, the pushed-in faces, and naked cats. Siams, on the other hand, are a very lovely race. Posture, faces, coloring, and their talkative nature towards us silly humans. They lived for over 400 years on our side now, so no real wonder right there, right? The earliest mention of this noble breed is in Thailand around 1600. I love all cats though, small and big alike. I had the chance to cuddle with 2 cougars, a tiger, a lion, and a very silly bobcat in my youth in a nearby rescue station. Hugely enjoyed every single moment of that. House cats are in no way safe from me either. I tend to kneel down and flirt with them wherever and whenever I stand a chance. I'm a cat addict.
Interesting. On to the next question. When did you first create the website?
Oh, that's tricky. Must have been between 1996 and 1997. Why? Because I clearly remember the browser war, and my decision to strictly conform to the widely supported HTML 3.2 standard instead of the brand new HTML 4.0. See Web Standards timeline. My site was called Cat's Garden Story Archive back then. You might chance a look if the web archive doesn't throw another fit at a year 2002 version here. I had the web/FTP server running on a Macintosh LC475 with 2-channel ISDN 128K-bit connection to the World Wide Web. Today nobody can imagine something like that ever working. It did. People were much more patient and nicer to each other.
Damn, I didn't expect the site to be that old. Wow. When and why did you move the site over to Tor? How did this shift change the amount of traffic the website was getting?
Main cause for my move to Tor was a new law introduced in 2008 from the aftershocks of 9/11. It more or less declared every citizen a possible terrorist. Total observation, voice, email, internet traffic, video cams in public places, etc., was enforced. Internet providers were required to log every IP address for at least 6 months by law, or better yet, a whole year or more. The European Court of Justice finally declared this practice legal, and we have minimal logging back, for payment purposes and such only. Their argument, the human right for privacy was much higher value than simpler crime solving. Second cause was mails from lawyers representing Disney and other big players in the business. They wanted erotic fanfiction stories taken off my site, or some unpleasant things would happen to the user of a certain IP range. So I decided to shut down my ClearNet presence for good and redo it from scratch inside Tor. This way they couldn't tell if it was the same person or not. Onion services implemented right are untraceable. Traffic went down 1/10 of the usual in the first year. Main problem was that there were no good darknet gateways around, like onion.ws or onion.pet. People had to use the Tor browser to visit my site, and that wasn't available for Android/iOS yet. Today there are apps for this, and gateways more often than not work reliably, and you can use a Tor-enabled WLAN access point, Raspberry Pi, or any open WRT router FX to direct all your outgoing traffic through Tor, enabling you to access Onion addresses in all your connected WLAN devices. Secure home automation technology. Here you are, but fully ignored, because private data is the new gold. Often people that are using Tor become accused of having something to hide. I wonder why that is. Whenever one of those people talk to me about this, I answer, fine, no problem for me. Please reveal all your financial data, all of your contacts, visits, and dealings here and now. Hand over your last tax declaration. You won't? Why not? Do you have something to hide? I have a daily upstream traffic of around 2 gigabytes now. Occasionally I get rediscovered by Google, Bing, Yandex, bots, and my traffic goes through the roof. But it's okay. What else do I pay the flat rate for? I don't keep web server logs, only some access counters for stories and images, so that I might get a vague idea about what is liked by the visitors and what isn't.
I honestly would like to see the court case where Disney complains about erotic stories of their fictional characters, on par with Nintendo's cease and desist for a 3D model of Bowser's penis, or similarly, the ATF's opinion on using a fleshlight or other sex toy as a gun modification. Heh, such silly laws if you ask me. I think that people don't treat their privacy seriously enough. I've been called paranoid for using DuckDuckGo and a few browser extensions to help with internet privacy. Unfortunately for them, their data is being sold to the highest bidder. Oh well. Is anybody you personally know aware of the site you host?
I'm pretty sure they would do it without the public and force you into bankruptcy some tricky way. Just set the place of court to the USA and require the delinquent to attend in person. Repeat this a few times for better results. People don't care or don't understand the consequences. Even if everything is out there in the open while the internet never really forgets, then you might be in for fun in the future, explaining stuff to your wife, to her advocate, to your new, old boss. You name it. Better too careful than sorry is my maxim. And no, nobody is aware that I'm behind TSSA. Fun fact, a security consultant showed what the Onion Network is being used for today presentation, and what do you know? TSSA popped up as one of the results, and was discussed back and forth for some time. I so had to force myself not to grin.
You say you love cats, but in what kind of way? I know you made a post on the forum addressing that, but perhaps you could explain it better here. Is it the platonic kind of love, or is it more than that?
Can't really add much to my explanation. Cats are easy company for me, whereas people aren't. Humans always want and argue, cheat, and trick, and reveal hidden agendas. They get on my nerves most of the time. Cats never do. They're their own personas and need you for nothing. If one of them chooses to show affection towards you, then that is a blessing. At least for me it is. I value it highly. Quiet and serenity have always been my personal thing. All of the people I know seemingly can't cope with that. They always have to do, always have to go, always have to be, have to buy more of the same silly stuff, have to raise a fortune, have to have kids, a family, a house, whatever. Why can't they just ever hit pause and just be themselves for a moment or two? Cats, in contrast, always are. They love life, and you feel it with them. At least I can. We are much more compatible in that respect. The realization of how strange our world is hit me very early on in life, because I'm a thinker, far too deep for my own good. And that is it platonic or not question sooner or later always comes up. It is offensive. Why do I always have to justify myself while normal people don't? And what the heck is normal? What about queer, gay, whatever sexual orientations? They all have exactly the same problem with the norms of society. Of what interest is my personal sex life to others? But if you have to know, no. I would not fuck with a female big cat, because it is extremely tricky to know what a feline really expects you to do when she is in heat. It's just her hormones going through the roof. Therefore, it would feel very wrong and vulgarizing to me seizing on such an opportunity for my own personal benefit. I would not deny her soft rubs with my fingertips or any other way she might want me to please her, because that is just being nice to each other in a slightly more sensual way, nothing truly invasive to her own personal space. With male cats, it is much easier because their visual signs are hard to overlook. I would not feel ashamed in the slightest to be lovey and nice to him as I possibly can. For me, the most important thing is and always will be repaying the kindness of a cat, small or large, that she or he has extended towards me, because that makes me warm and happy inside. It always has. You don't count love against love. You give it freely, or it doesn't mean a damn thing.
Sorry to press on an area that you deem offensive to ask. Not asking for you to justify yourself, just asking what you do/feel. You've answered these with flying colors, man. Real great. That's really all I have, so any closing statements? Other tangential ideas? Care to tell about who you are in a way that's not identity compromising?
Maybe I should have made it a bit clearer. I find it offensive in general that people want to know sexual preferences, especially from people that do not conform to their own standards. But that honestly is none of their business. Do I run around and ask normals to their faces if they prefer cowgirl, backdoor, or oral in bed? I think not. So why should they be allowed to do that to the slightly different persons? Closing thoughts. I would love to have people be more tolerant and careful towards the feeling of others. Just stop and ask yourself for a moment if you would like to have others doing that to you. If the answer is no, then reconsider your planned actions. Life for us all would be so much easier if everyone followed that simple rule. Who am I? Oh, well, I'm just a tourist in this plane of existence, marveling at all the complexities and wonders of life and the universe itself. I'm fully aware that my existence is meaningless, but I don't mind. Who else will be remembered in a million years? We thinking brains are tiny dots in the vastness of time. All we can do is be nice to each other as often as possible, make our short stay on Earth be an enjoyable one for everyone, and follow our heart's most innermost desire while doing so. Lovely felines are just my thing, and always will be.
Well, thank you for your time very much. Enjoy yourself, man, and stay based. Now to the admin of the website, if you're listening to this, thank you very much for that. It was quite, you worded yourself quite well. You were quite kind throughout the whole thing, even when I pressed on territory you didn't quite like. But thank you very much. It was very awesome of you to do that.